And welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Crypto. My name's Don. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching today's video. If you are watching it live, hello, good morning, or should I say good afternoon. And if you're watching it back, please drop me a comment to let me know, did you catch this video live or did you watch it back after it was posted on the YouTube channel? Now, today we have some exciting news as ever. First of all, before I get to the news, I'm going to cover off the prices and then we'll discuss a few things that I've seen that are interesting, to say the least. And then also I'm going to cover, will Kamala Harris, the poison that she is, will she end crypto for good? Well, that plus lots more in today's episode, so please make sure you're staying tuned. And also please make sure you've subscribed to this channel to make sure that you get the notification if I go live. I like to keep it a surprise, but when I go live, you'll get a notification. And also when we post new videos, you also get a notification if you turn on the bell icon. So anyway, with all that being said, let's look at today's prices then. So Bitcoin currently sitting at $56,869, up almost 5% on the day. We then have Ethereum at 2,344, up 3% or just over 3% on the day. We then have BNB at 518, Solana $133, XRP at 53 cents, Dogecoin at 10 or 0.10 rather, and then Tron at 15 cents, and then Toncoin up almost 8% actually on the day at $5.17. So yes, since yesterday's Coffee and Crypto, if you caught that, you'll see the prices have, raised slightly, not so much, but there definitely has been a bit of a pump in the market, and anyone who is subscribed to the channel will hopefully have watched the latest video we put on, I think it was last week, regarding is this the bottom? Is it time for crypto to go? And should you be selling everything that you own and investing in crypto with absolutely no financial advice, obviously, and all that good stuff. Anyway, with that being said, let's move on to a couple of news articles then that we have, which I have seen, that may be of interest to you. The first one being Bitcoin ETFs. Now, are these of interest to you? Maybe not, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because yesterday we spoke about the Bitcoin ETF outflow. Well, today we're seeing Bitcoin ETF inflow. So the Bitcoin ETFs see $28.6 million inflows after 8 days of outflow streak. So it was not looking good, bruv, as we like to say, for the Bitcoin ETFs the past few weeks almost, but things have changed slightly as of yesterday. So the US Bitcoin Exchange Traded Funds, which is obviously the full name of an ETF, saw a net inflow of $28.6 million on September 9th, breaking 8 consecutive trading days of outflows. Now, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust also saw its third ever day of net outflows at $9.1 million, its smallest on record next to its biggest, which was $36.9 million outflows on May 1st. So, a lot of numbers here, there, everywhere. Does it make sense to you? Probably not, but the main point of the article was the fact that for 8 days solid, we saw outflows. And yesterday, for the first time in 8 days, we have seen mass inflows. Now, yes, there was, I think, $1.6 billion worth of outflows, and then we've seen a mere 28.6 million inflow. But look, let's not get into the numbers too much, because the positive here, the fact that it's there, 1.2 billion, I stand corrected. So roughly $1.2 billion left the Bitcoin ETF between August 27th and September 6th. So yeah, it's not quite anywhere near 1.2 billion that have left. Again, like I said, the positives here is that there's a $28 million return yesterday, and I'm sure we'll continue to see more of a return. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover regarding the ETFs. There's not a huge amount going on. It doesn't really affect me or you watching this too much. It's an American thing, first and foremost, and also it's more for big investors who have financial advisors, etc., who are managing their money or managing funds on their behalf, not, people like ourselves who are potentially just doing it on exchanges on ourselves. So next then we have seen a bit of FTX news. Now, this tends to come and go, the FTX news, which is now, 2 years old almost. But FTX finalises a settlement with Emergent over $600 million Robinhood shares claim. So you remember 2 years ago, FTX absolutely wrecked the market. Well, they're still going on and on and on, because I think About 6 months after it went, well, not so much bust, but it went, what's the word? I don't want to swear, but it didn't go so. It went south. There, how's that? It went south. About 6 months later, I think they were trying to kind of rebirth it. But yeah, it seems to be just an ongoing issue. So the bankrupt crypto exchange FTX has reached a deal with SBF, so Sam Bankman-Fried, who is in prison, as far as I'm aware. Founded Emergent Technologies over more than $600 million worth of Robinhood shares. FTX will pay Emergent $14 million to cover the administrative expenses related to withdrawing a petition to claim 55 million Robinhood shares and cash. How mad is that? A $14 million admin fee, basically. So the settlement also provides a path for Emergent to quickly resolve its bankruptcy case in Antigua, and an FTX said the agreement helps recover more money for its creditors and avoid further litigation costs, adding to its crucial step in reorganisation plan to maximise value for creditors. So, like I said, it did go south or bankrupt about 2 years ago, but they are trying to kind of reincarnate it slightly. But they do owe a lot of people a lot of money because of the wrongdoings and just the tomfoolery that they did when the exchange was run by Sam Bankman-Fried. So, again, this company Emergent, acquired around 56 million Robinhood shares worth around $600 million in May of 2022. Through an agreement from, again, Sam Bankman-Fried and the Alameda Research, the two very famous names here, Bankman-Fried and Alameda Research. Obviously, they went kind of hand in hand with the kind of just absolute nonsense that went through, or what they did to crypto. The crypto trading firm he founded. Multiple parties, including FTX, BlockFi, it's another one, Bankman-Fried and Emergent have asserted ownership of rights to the shares, and the Justice Department seized in January 2023 following FTX's collapse in November 2022. Now, again, this is not going to change much about your crypto holdings. However, I think it's important news to show the fact that 2 years later, after the FTX scandal, there's still issues and still things going on. It just shows you the absolute size of the problem, I guess. So anyway, with that being said, let's move on to the next story for today. So the SEC crypto enforcement hits $4.7 billion this year, rising 3,000% from 2023. So that's just insane. But let me read this and I'll explain it in a bit more detail. So the US SEC has imposed nearly $4.7 billion worth of enforcement actions against crypto firms and executives in 2024, over a 3,000% jump in 2023. Now, this is probably the answer before the question, but the question is, well, why do the SEC keep going after exchanges, keep going after founders? Like, why are they taking it to court? Why are they bothering trying to sue Ripple? Why are they bothering trying to sue Daquan? Anyone? Well, they've made $4.7 billion from doing so. So it's quite a lucrative business, to say the least. So the SEC's record-setting year was mostly boosted by its massive $4.47 billion settlement with Terraform Labs and its founder and former CEO, Daquan, in June. Its largest enforcement action to date. I'm guessing they were all celebrating with champagne in their government offices when that went through. The regulators' 11 enforcement actions in 2024 netted a 3,000% increase from its $150 million worth of fines in 2023, despite taking 19 fewer actions against crypto firms. What a business the SEC is. It's made a 3,000% gain, and mostly made up from one of its companies that it took enforcement action on, Terraform Labs. So yeah, it made $4.47 billion just from that settlement. Insane. So the total fine amounts include forfeiture and disagreement. Here we go again with me mispronouncing things on live stream. Civil penalties, settlement and prejudgment interest, which were counted from the SEC initiated enforcement action. Wow. So this year's hike in fine suggests that the SEC has made a strategic shift towards targeting more influential cases. This trend indicates a strategic shift by the SEC toward fewer but larger fines, with a focus on making a high-impact enforcement actions that set precedents for the entire industry. Honestly, this just makes me sick reading this. But anyway, the SEC hit the social messaging network Telegram, so you remember that quite recently, with a $1.24 billion action back in 2019, comprised of $18.5 million in civil penalties and $1.2 billion in disgorgement paid back to investors. I don't even want to read on anymore, to be honest, but here's one about Ripple Labs. So, Ripple Labs and fraudsters John and Tina Barksdale are among those the SEC has fined, with the amount exceeding $100 million. What else do we have? Who else? That said, 46% of the fines imposed since 2020 have been below $1 million. Oh, that's quite nice. While 30% fell between the $1 million and $10 million region. Anyway, so hopefully that kind of answers questions that were maybe not asked today, but they've been asked in the past. Why do the SEC keep going after crypto exchanges, people behind crypto platforms? Well, it's a lucrative business for the SEC. They can accuse you of whatever they want, and then they will fine you, and you'll pay it, because they know that you have money, basically. So yeah, it's a lucrative business model for the SEC, hence why they keep doing it and making a fortune. Next up then, the FBI reports Americans lost $5.6 billion to cryptocurrency fraud in 2023. Now, I still think if you're being a victim of fraud in crypto, you're just an idiot. But anyway, the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center has released its cryptocurrency fraud report for 2023, and Americans lost $5.6 billion due to cryptocurrency fraud that year, up 45% from 2022. Crypto-related complaints represented 10% of the total received, but almost 50% of the total lost that year, the FBI have said. Now, the report found that 69,000 crypto-related complaints. Now, hear me out. I think that number is false. We all know that in crypto there is some childish behaviour that happens. 69 and 420 tend to be numbers that are very much used because people in crypto that are lonely and weird, I'm trying to use nice words, think that the word 69 or the number 69 and the number 420 is hilarious. Obviously they don't get the house much, etc. But the fact that this says the report found that of the 69,000 crypto, I mean, that just seems a bit convenient. Anyway, I'll move on because it doesn't matter too much anyway, but yeah, I think this might be a made up story. People over 60 were often victimised. Yep, that tends to be the case, unfortunately, accounting for almost $1.6 billion of the losses. Almost 71% of the crypto fraud was related to investment schemes, and about 10% involved call centre fraud as government impersonation scams. This doesn't just happen in crypto, this happens throughout pretty much every industry, so yeah, please have your wits about you. So the FBI complaints are from over 200 countries, but the vast majority of complaints and losses were from the US. Yeah, kind of makes sense. Many of the losses were the result of confidence schemes. The FBI had one main piece of advice. Okay, I'm interested to see what this says. So, their main piece of advice. Everyone pay attention. There is one thing these scammers typically will not do. They will not meet you in real life. Yeah, obviously. If an investment opportunity comes from someone you have never met in person, be extremely cautious of the advice. Amazing. FBI, congratulations. That was a great message. I'm sure everyone will take it on board. Americans are also liable to labour trafficking fraud as well, apparently. Labour trafficking as well. I don't actually know what that is. That is when workers are lured into taking positions abroad, such as at call centres, that turn out to be exploitative. Like, why are Americans like that? Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I wouldn't fall for that personally. Hopefully none of yous would fall for that either. But why are Americans so easy to scam, apparently? 69,000 of them. Anyway, let's move on to some more American news. But I guess the fact of the matter is, please be careful. Again, we've said this since day one on this channel back in 2020 when we've been going live and putting ourselves out there on the internet. Please be careful of scams. If it sounds too good to be true, 9 times out of 10 it kind of normally is. Sometimes it's not, but yeah, please be careful. No one's coming to save you in life, never mind in crypto. So yeah, no one's coming to save you. Do your own thing. Think for yourself. Unless you're not capable of thinking for yourself, then please contact me and I'll help you as much as I can. Right, moving on to another numpty from America. I feel like it was only a year ago we were talking about Sleepy Joe Biden, and now we're talking about Kamala. Kamala Harris, what a stupid name. Kamala Harris releases policy platform details. In shock, there is no mention of crypto. Interesting. Okay, so the presidential nominee, Kamala, I don't know how to pronounce her name, also don't really care, has released new details on her policy plans ahead of the 2024 US presidential election. While the platform includes plans to prioritise innovation in the US economy, she did not explicitly, oh my goodness, why is it I try and focus on words and I mess them up, but in everyday conversation I can say every word perfectly. Anyway, didn't mention digital assets or blockchain technology. What an idiot. Now, in an update to the issues page on the Harris Walls campaign website on September 9th, the Democratic ticket highlighted several policies differentiating itself from Republican nominee Sir Donald Trump. Do you like how I call him Sir Donald Trump? Because he's anyway, I'll move on. I won't focus on Mr. Trump too much. The official Republican platform, under the leadership of Trump's daughter-in-law, included language on championing innovation using crypto, while Harris' campaign focused on policies to benefit the middle class. It's the same old story. This happens in the UK as well, but let's just talk about the US just now because it's more of a laugh. There is no real middle class. There's upper class and there's lower class. That's essentially it. So yeah, I don't want to get into this too much. But anyway, here's kind of part of it here. It says, a tweet here then, adding to this, no mention of crypto in Harris's new policy page on her campaign website. 57 days until the election. Tight time frame to make a meaningful policy statement. Here is the full kind of policy statement, which I'm obviously not going to read to you. According to the Democratic nominee, Vice President Harris and her running mate Tim Walz aim to create a fairer tax system, they always do, that will prioritise investment and innovation in the US economy. The campaign added that it would ensure that America, not China, remained a leader in innovative industries, including artificial intelligence and semiconductors. Now, the fact that you've said that, so I'm going to just highlight that, the fact that she said that the campaign would ensure that America, not China, remained a leader in innovative industries. You can't, and then including artificial intelligence, you can't say that and then not mention crypto. Like, you just can't. Also, you can't go against China because Donald Trump was the only man or the only president that actually worked with China to make the US stronger. Biden and everyone else has made the US weaker because of China. So don't try and butter me up. I mean, it's not me exactly, but don't try and butter up the American people with that statement. The Harris platform, titled A New Way Forward, was one of the latest policy announcements since the campaign unveiled its plans to fight price gouging and keep inflation in check. The Democratic nominee entered the race on July 21st after Sleepy Joe, blah, 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 blah. Right, so I'm not going to read any more of that article because it's a waste of time. But what's my view on this? My view is I don't think that Kamala Harris, well, she's just the puppet, obviously, but I don't believe that the next term of presidency. I mean, I don't think it's going to be Kamala Harris anyway. I do believe it will be Trump, but if she does come into power, I do believe that there will be a bit of a, I don't know, like not a great start, should we say? I don't think crypto will pump as much as I would when Trump comes into play. The fact that it's 57 days out from the election and she hasn't mentioned crypto, but she's mentioned innovation, is a little bit worrying, to say the least. But yeah, hopefully we don't have to really worry about that. We really do need Trump to come in to be re-elected for crypto to like take a massive boost. I mean, we all know Mr. Trump, or Sir Donald Trump, is a crypto bro, to say the least. He was at the Bitcoin convention recently in Miami speaking about it. He's run a few NFTs in the past few years. He is pro-crypto for the right reasons, which is exactly what we need in a presidential client in America, basically. So anyway, enough about America. The UK is a mess as it is. But yeah, America is just more fun to talk about. So anyway, that's the point on Kamala Harris. Hopefully you took something from that. As you can tell, I don't exactly like Kamala Harris. But yeah, anyway. Cool, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new here, then obviously you'll know that we are Certified Crypto, and we do have the original and best crypto education Discord, which I will leave. I mean, it's linked below anyway, but yeah, click the link below, read a little bit more about it, and get on board ahead of October, or what we like to say in crypto, of Uptober. Anyway, I won't say too much. I'd rather you go read it and do it yourself rather than me trying to convince you. Yeah, that's all. A quick refresh on the prices, see if anything's changed. Yeah, we've come down slightly. Bitcoin's at 57,143. Still, all good. Okay, doc, cool. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and joining today's live stream. Typically, for some reason, my second screen, which I use, is an iPad, and it has frozen, which means I can't stop the stream. So should I just stream for the rest of today? If you didn't know, these videos are recorded live and then posted to the YouTube channel. Please make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. There we go, I've got it up now. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. See ya.